This is news from the Contemporary Radio Network, and I'm John Schubeck in New York. Singer Eartha Kitt says tonight she's received a flood of mail saying that she was right in her statements made last week at a White House luncheon. Ms. Kitt says the letters have been beautiful. I was not rude, Ms. Kitt says. And today in Los Angeles, she reiterated her beliefs that Americans are confused because of the war in Vietnam. More news from Contemporary Radio in just 60 seconds.
This is Don Gardner for Contemporary Radio News. Today's world moves at a lightning-fast pace. People are constantly on the go with little time to catch up on the news. They want the facts and they want them fast. No wasted words. That's the way we see it, too. Our reports are accurate, fast-paced, reported direct to you from where it happens. Debate in Washington, war in Vietnam or the Middle East, riots, diplomacy, taxes, politics, whatever is news. Quick, concise summaries of all the important stories, written and reported for people on the move. Late-breaking news that's happened within the hour, along with new developments happening at that moment. It's all wrapped up and delivered straight to you every hour. Isn't that the way you want to get your news? Fast and to the point reporting of the facts? Keep in touch with the news service that moves as fast as you do. News in tempo with today's times from the Contemporary Radio Network.
Dog sled teams tonight are at the scene of a B-52 crash off the coast of Greenland. The B-52 went down after heavy smoke filled the cabin. 5 men jumped. They're safe. Another was hurt. 1 man died. The plane was carrying 3 or 4 H-bombs. There is no danger of nuclear explosion as all the bombs were unarmed. As for details on the crash, Contemporary News went to the Pentagon, and from Colonel Daniel Hill got this.
The aircraft impacted on the ice, which is about 6 to 9 feet thick. Some wreckage burned. Some is no longer visible on the surface and may have burned into or through the ice. Some wreckage has been observed on the ice surface by helicopters.
Colonel Hill adds that more information will be available on the crash once additional dog sled teams return. Dehydration deaths way up in Rio de Janeiro. Temperatures have been soaring in Rio. It's midsummer south of the border. 28 children have died of dehydration in Rio in the month of January alone. Robert Sheldon, Imperial Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, says the Klan is starting a junior auxiliary. This auxiliary will have chapters in 5 southern states, the junior order of the KKK, recruiting youngsters 12 to 18. Robert Sheldon compares his auxiliary to the Boy Scouts of America. That Plans for Progress meeting in Washington. Bayard Rustin told the meeting today that the racial problems current in this country today represent a crisis more serious than the Civil War. Labor Secretary Willard Wirtz also spoke before the gathering. Wirtz was critical of those trying to avoid a long, hot summer, saying the problem is bigger than that.
We have demeaned ourselves and those about whom we're talking, and we have diminished the real stature of the problem by talking about it in terms of a summer disease or epidemic.
Labor Secretary Wirtz speaking in Washington before the Plans of Progress meeting. In Newark, New Jersey, 3 men arrested by police charged with killing Victor Jeffries. He was 44. As for motive, police say there was no apparent reason. DOA Victor Jeffries of a karate chop in the neck. Prime Minister Harold Wilson of Britain has completed his first day of talks with Soviet Premier Kosygin. Wilson plans on staying in Moscow for 3 days. Wilson's role as a world peacemaker is in doubt. Several Russian newspapers have already called Wilson a tool for the United States. Britain rejecting foreign aid. It's happened. A week ago, Britain announced a military pullback east of the Suez by 1971. A number of oil-rich sheikdoms along the Persian Gulf will be left without an army after that. Oil-rich as they are, they'll probably need an army. And the sheikdoms offered Britain $60 to $75 million a year to pay for that military protection. Today, Britain rejected that idea because it would make the soldiers, they say, appear as mercenaries. And that's the report from the Middle East that's making Contemporary News.
This is Don Gardner, Contemporary Radio Network News. This is the sound of safety. That's the dimmer switch on your car. The National Automobile Dealers Association advises when your high beams are on, you should dim your lights, even if the other guy doesn't. By switching to a low beam, you help the oncoming driver see you, and you reduce the chances of being blinded yourself. New car dealers of NADA say that when driving at night, look out for the other guy. You'll also be looking out for yourself.
That's the latest news from Contemporary Radio. I'm John Schubeck in New York.